watch a trophy fly. Targets downrange, bullseye hit. Guns don't kill, our spirits lit. Fire, lock and load, let them roar. Shoot straight, Second Amendment score. Hunt, shoot, rock forever free. Amendment, eternity.
Hey, good evening, everybody. JD here, 701 Nation. Looks at, hey, what's up, 18 wheels and a dozen six shooters. Brian Warner, what's up, brother? My fellow MVE. Good to see you guys jumping on here right away. I think I got the comments figured out on Facebook here. Looks like it is. I'll wait and see if somebody throws a comment up on there if it comes through. I think it is, though. Looks like it is. We'll find out in short order. I'll leave it on for now just in case. But good evening, Whale and Turnus. How you doing, buddy? Great to see you guys jumping on. Tuesday night. That's when the shows are going to be Tuesday nights from now on, at least for 3 months. Right? And yeah, 8 p.m. We're going to rock it out, get it going. Hey, Dan, it is coming through. All right, Dan Brown, good evening. Good. Hey, I'm glad I got that. Dan Hager TV. Hey, buddy, what's going on? All right, I can turn off my phone here and see the chats on YouTube. You know, getting to be like Clay, that high-tech redneck kind of thing. So, Brian Warner, yo, I got you on there, brother. Thank you. Appreciate it. Man, these comments are really freaking huge on here coming on my screen. But, you know, we're going to leave them. That's easy for me to see. All right, I'll tell you what we got coming tonight, guys. New Mexico Democrats up to their same old tricks. They actually passed one down there, and we'll get into more of it. I'm pretty sure it's going to become law, but they passed a semi-automatic gun ban. California, we're going to eradicate some mule deer from Catalina Island. And you can imagine there's some people on there don't like that. You know, we're going to talk about it. It's pretty cool little article. I think they've tried to do this before. I think a couple of years ago, me and Clay might have actually talked about this, but we'll go over it again. They're trying it again. And got the gun and NFA sales from January. We'll go over that. A big bump on the NFA ones, if you can imagine that. And gun sales, you know what they do? They were, I don't remember how many months, they were over 1 million, but yeah, they had some good sales going there. We'll go over the stats on that. And we'll get into a little bit of Minnesota here. Gun permit applications and the demand for training has skyrocketed in Minnesota since ICE has stepped up their enforcement of the laws. And we'll talk about that. And I do have some very strong opinions on that. Some people might not agree with what I'm going to say, but that's my opinion on it. And we'll get to that. And then, of course, a happy ending hootenanny. Should be a good one. It's short, very sweet. I did a little digging in on it, but I mean, it was just still going to be a short one. And we got some, like I said, current events. That's what we did the last couple of shows. I'm going to talk about this voter ID thing a little bit, and I'm going to kind of compare that with some things that dipshit Chuck Schumer was saying today. We'll compare that with some gun. You know, I'll work some gun shit in there. You can count on that. And then ABC News had a story saying that only 20% of the illegals that DHS and ICE has got in Minnesota actually have violent criminal records. Yeah, violent criminal records. Right. Keep that in mind. I'm going to let you know what they passed over and made it sound like you know, hey, only this 14%, I think, is what they said was violent. DHS said 70%, and Christy Nome. They all came here illegally. Don't kid yourself that. And so they, you know, they're criminals and should be treated as such because they came here illegally. And you know, about that time, probably be about an hour and 15 in. That should be about the end of episode 3 here. Obviously, I didn't get my scanner up there yet. I'm still working. I didn't even get a chance to work on that, guys and gals. I'll be honest with you there. We were making sausage, and Axe and I did some prairie dog. Well, we tried to do some prairie dog shooting. We did some other stuff. So, yeah, it wasn't I didn't have much time to do anything else. But let's get into it here. New Mexico, like I said, Democrats, Senate Democrats there. stuck together and passed some legislation Saturday. Broad semi-automatic firearms ban and new restrictions and requirements for licensed firearm dealers, right? Because we all know they think they're criminals. The legislation, Senate Bill 17, passed the Senate on a vote of 21-17. And in case you're wondering, well, can't they stop that in the House? Well, their governor, Michelle Lujan Grisham, big anti-gunner. We've talked about her before on here, and Clay has on. What up, Josh Patterson? How'd the sausage turn out, Brian? Freaking awesome, Brian. It turned out unbelievable, man. I'm very happy with the sausage. Did some jalapeno and cheddar patty stuff, and then I think I got 30 pounds of that, and then I got about 50 pounds of stuffed and smoked, just pork. Ooh, good stuff, buddy. Next time you're up for something or a shooting thing, for sure we'll have some. I'll get you a pack or something. I'm happy with it. I'm real happy with it. Turned out great. But yeah, their Senate. So the vote, like I said, was 21-17. Democrats in New Mexico own the Senate 26-16. And they're, like I said, governor's a massive anti-gunner. House, well, they're going to stop it in the House. No, they're not. The House is controlled by Democrats 43-26. Dems took over both of those chambers in 2016, and they haven't been, as you can guess, not very nice to the Second Amendment ever since then. But they did have some reasonable. I think they actually voted some things down, but it sounds like this is going to pass. I'll keep going here. Story. Let's see here. Oh yeah, okay. So Republican leader Bill Scher said today Democrats in Santa Fe decided that the rights of New Mexicans to protect themselves and their families should be eliminated. Listen to the words they say. They have repeatedly admitted this bill is unconstitutional. Yet they are forcing it upon law-abiding citizens. New Mexicans deserve to be represented by elected officials who take their oaths of office seriously, not by activists who hate our Constitution and who promote fringe radical policies designed to undermine the very foundation of our nation. Yeah, which is what they do. The Spanberger there in West Virginia. I think I talked about that last week. Acted like she was in the middle of the road. She's a freaking insane nut leftist. Dan Hager TV says, can that be challenged in court? It will be, Dan. Under Bruin, the Supreme Court still hasn't taken up an assault weapons ban. They passed over it again. I don't know the reasoning for that. But yeah, it's going to be challenged. I think some states have struck it down, some Trump judges and like circuits and stuff like that. But I mean, as far as the Supreme Court, that's why they're just, until they say it, screw it, So Breitbart also reported that SB 17 contains, so like if you're a gun, you got a gun shop or you're an FFL, SB 17 contains new, quote, security requirements for licensed gun dealers that include sight hardening, including locks on doors and windows and other features. Features shall be designed to prevent unauthorized entry, which may include bars or grates, security screens, and commercial-grade metal doors, installation and use of video surveillance systems. Yeah, that worked out really. Them surveillance cameras worked out great for Samantha Guthrie's mom, right? Including video recording devices at each point of sale. And so, yeah, sit there and video you, which I think Walmart does, like Bloomberg. I don't know what they think they're going to get out of videoing somebody like me or you guys watching buying a gun. I don't. Just so they got you on video, I guess. And they want to, if they ever get to the point where they can go door to door, we got you on video buying this gun. Which shall be recorded from both indoor and outdoor vantage point, and the dealer shall maintain such recordings for a period of not less than 2 years. So they hang on to this bullshit for 2 years. And other than they got reasonable requirements. Yeah, I bet I didn't dig into it any more than this article here from Breitbart. But yeah, I can about imagine. As determined by the department and the attorney general to reduce the risk of burglaries at dealers' premises and the theft of firearms in shipment to and from dealers' premises. Yeah, burglaries. Yeah, I mean, that's weak. It's just a way to harass these guys. And when they banned semi-autos, like the AR is one of the best-selling guns, and a lot of these small dealers sell a bunch of them that keep their doors open. And well, until it's challenged in court and maybe overturned, I mean, until then, you got to pay the freaking bills, man. So I don't know. The bill also bans, I'm going to go back, tell you a little more about the guns they banned. The most popular semi-automatic rifle in America, which AR-15, America's rifle, as well as numerous semi-automatic shotguns and pistols. So any any semi-automatic rifle that takes a detachable magazine, they freaking that's going to be banned. Um, any non-detachable magazine or tube that holds more than 10 rounds is going to be banned. Um, I don't really know a lot of 10 round. Well, yeah, I mean like a SKS or something, right? I mean, I don't know a whole lot of non-detachable things that hold 10 rounds. Maybe you guys do. You can throw them in the comments. Um, and pistols. Well, I mean, like what company just made that one? You can just put the stripper clips. Yeah, clips feed the magazine, in it. And shotguns. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of shotguns come out now. I think Jared there at 701 Arms, he's got them shotguns down there now from the shot show. Take detachable makes freaking cool, man. I'd love to have one of those. And State Senator Jay Block, a Republican, Rio Rancho, described the bill as the worst mockery of the First Amendment in state's history. Yeah, well, I mean, I can't disagree with that, right? Just banning a complete class of firearms and anything that takes a detachable magazine, right? Why do they want those? Well, if you can detach the magazine and then just drop it out and reload another one, and I mean, it bans 30-round magazines and a bunch of other bullshit like that. Hey, Serena, how you doing? Thanks for jumping on. Oh yeah, I'll give you guys a lot of you know my dad has cancer. He had some really good news yesterday. Sounds like they're going to be able to probably operate on it and then get it and get. I mean, that's not a guarantee. I'm not getting, but I mean, just talking to my dad, it sounds like they're going to be able to operate on it and probably cut the cancer out because the chemo shrunk his tumors way down. And they said now's the time to do it. They got to get it done. So I think he's either going to have to go to Fargo, which he's going to find out today or tomorrow. Hopefully, he can do that, or he's going to have to go to Vegas. But I mean, great news there. That'd be awesome. I'll keep you guys up to date. Serena kind of reminded me that because she's from Golden Valley and she asked me about it. So. Axel, does nothing curtail illegal gun sales or use? Exactly, Ax. I mean, it just pretty much harasses law-abiding gunners, like people listen to this show for sure. So another worthless law by Democrats to make hoops and harass gun owners. To them, one gun shop or FFL guy they put out of business. We just saved 10 people or some ridiculous bullshit like that. You know how they think. Anyway, let's move on from a little gun stuff here. I mean, if you guys want anything else to throw in the comments, go ahead. I'll definitely be sure and get back to it. Let's talk about this. Yeah, great news. Axel says absolutely, Ax. It is great. It is great news. That's Jolene Warner. Great news. Thank you, Jolene. Yes, that sounds like damn good news, sister. And absolutely, thank you guys. I appreciate that a lot. And yeah, my dad, man, he sounded full of optimism. I was extremely happy when I was talking to him, and so was he. So hopefully this all turns out good, and we can get that shit out of him, and he can live many years yet. So I'll keep you guys up to date. So, anyways, let's go down, kind of stay out in the Southwest there, California. California wildlife. I don't know why I'm laughing at this. I actually am. I'm kind of against this actually, but California wildlife officials moved forward last week with a plan to eradicate a mule deer herd from Santa Catalina Island. And then it says extermination. That's their plan, to exterminate all the deer from this Santa Catalina Island. Shayna says that's no Mick Ultra. Also, still haven't had any salsa. I'll bring you guys some salsa and I'll give you a little sample of some sticks or some sausage. I'll stop down there. Thanks for tuning in, Shayla. I appreciate that, Shayna. So the plan has long, at least exterminating the mule deer. The plan has long pitted locals from the island off the coast of LA against the Catalina Island Conservancy. It's an environmental nonprofit. They manage 88% of the island's terrain. This island's pretty big too. 75 square miles, which is about 48,000 acres. That's pretty big. I think. I mean, I haven't been to a whole lot of freaking islands, but that seems like a pretty damn big island to me. The Conservancy sees mule deer, which are not native to the island, as a major threat to local biodiversity, water quality, and fire resilience. How the hell deer are a threat to fire resilience. Same with water. I mean, do they can only drink fresh water and they get in their fresh water supply or something? I have no idea. I have no idea. I didn't dig into that. The permit issued by the California Department of Fish and Wildlife allows the conservancy to eliminate the island's herd of roughly, and this is a lot of freaking deer, man, 1,800 deer over a period of 5 years, mostly using hired shooters who will kill the deer over, oh, don't say it, bait. They bait. Even the high and mighty moral Californians let you hunt over bait, right? How? Oh my God. Serena says it sure would be a shame if Cali fell off the U.S. Yeah, it would, right? It just kind of, like the second Escape from L.A. when the earthquake kind of made it an island and made it into a big prison. That sounds pretty good to me. Outside of the islands only, incorporated city of Avalon. Here's some more information on why these shooters. They're shooters. I mean, they're not even. These guys aren't just sharpshooters. Go in there. Well, I don't even know how sharp they are, but they're, hey, how high are you guys going to kill some deer? Shooters can fire at night and use helicopters and drones to locate the deer. Helicopters may also be used to drop nets on deer for capture. I mean, they didn't say when they're going to capture. They said they want to kill and eradicate 1,800 of them, right? As deer numbers dwindle, the permit envisions using dogs. I mean, these guys are using everything like most people think is unethical, right? There's a lot of stuff people think is unethical. I don't think is on. But anyways, the permanent vision's using dogs to help shooters find and kill the stragglers. So there's a couple smart ones or big ones that make it out. We gonna hunt you down with the dogs and get you. The old nature lovers out there in California. The permit also allows the conservancy to capture deer, sterilize them, fit them with GPS collars, and release them back into the wild. So catch the deer, get yourself a buck. They catch him, sterilize, cut his balls off, and then cut him loose again to go out and live. And then who knows? Hopefully, some coyotes get on here and then they control the population. Let me get to a few of these comments. I wonder why these. I want to see something once. I'm looking at these letters here, the size right here. I'm going to go to small ones. There we go. That was too damn big there. Too beaucoup. Let's see here. Josh says, I'm still pissed at my teachers. They had me thinking that California would have fell into the ocean by now. That's why they told us in school. Yeah, right, Josh? I mean, I always heard it was San Andreas Fault's going to crack. And yeah, I mean, there are some good people in California, but man, I don't know if it's ever coming back. We'll see in the election. I mean, it sounds like the guy running for governor there, the Hilton Hotel guy might have. Anyway, they're going to use those ethical lead-free. Are they going to use those ethical lead-free bullets? Yeah, Dave. I mean, they're going to do that because if you shoot one, then the seagulls eat the gut pile and eat the lead. Yes, Josh, says Serena. Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, I think all of us heard that crap in school. Come. I got a text here from somebody about it. They need to take our wolves and put them on that island. Yeah, yeah, no shit. There you go. Oh, yeah, get our wolves here with the nets and then let them go hungry till they go out there, I guess, and chase after these muleys that have been sterilized. Okay, so some of the stuff they're going to use. Okay, Dave. I'm going to answer your question about the lead-free bullets. They don't say it here, but that's 100% what they're going to use because the meat from the animals will either go to feed captive birds at the California Condor Recovery Program. So I mean, that's 100% right there. That's why California, in the first place, claimed it's killing all the condors with the lead cord bullets when they eat them and gives them lead poisoning. So they're definitely using all copper or to tribal partners. Which is fine. I mean, why don't you just have some people from the tribe come in there and kill them and take them out then instead of hiring people in helicopters and all this other bullshit, right? I mean, seems like it'd be a lot funner to do it that. I mean, hunting out of a helicopter would be not shooting deer though. I mean, I don't know, pigs. Yeah, deer. I don't know. They might just stand there. Many locals, however, deride the extermination methods as cruel and see deer as an iconic local species, despite the fact that they were introduced to establish a huntable population in the 20s. So when they first put them on there, they put them on there to actually hunt them, right? Which definitely would have been down with, because I love hunting mule deer. I love mule deer. That would have been great on an island, 48,000 acre island. Sounds fun. And I imagine the 20s are probably with a whole lot of people living on it. And I mean, I don't even know what their population is now, but an online petition to stop the slaughter of mule deer on Catalina Island has garnered nearly 23,000 signatures. I mean, it doesn't seem like that much to me, right? Population of California. I mean, like I said, I don't know if there's no way they're all on the island. Maybe they are. I don't even know the population. I'm not going to look it up. Mule deer have been part of Catalina's landscape for nearly a century, and their presence has become an important part of the island's identity. LA County Supervisor Janice Hahn wrote in a recent letter to California wildlife officials. The plan disregards the deeply held values of many Catalina residents and visitors. I continue to hear from the constituents who have lived on the island for decades and have come to cherish these deer. I mean, I can get that, right? I like seeing wildlife. And then, if you're not a big hunter, I'd imagine, hey, there's that deer with 3x2 antlers or whatever. You recognize something on a doe, and whatever. I get that. I mean, I'm not just saying the thing can't get shot. I'm just saying I get it that people get even just seeing the deer around, right? And you'll see what they're going to replace them with. I mean, their plan to replace them. We'll see. Recreational hunting will continue on Catalina Island, though the Conservancy says that it has failed to reduce numbers sufficiently. Well, give out more freaking tags then. Either that or you guys got some shitty hunters in California. Or like I said, call the indigenous tribe out there and have them start freaking hunting them. Santa Catalina's native flora evolved without mule deer, leading plants to evolve few defenses to limit the animals from gorging on them. Okay, so the flora grew without mule deer around to eat them, and now the mule deer came in and they're saying they're gorging on them and killing them, whatever the hell a native flora is. I'm not a botanist. According to the Conservancy, the heavy browsing pressure has allowed non-native grasses to colonize areas once populated with native grass, leading to the island to lose shrubbery chaparral to invasive grasslands. Oh, that dirty, worthless grass. You can't have that. The Conservancy plans to replant native flora and beat back invasive vegetation as it exterminates the deer. Recolonizing the island with native shrubs and other plants will help support efforts to recover endangered species. Here we go. Here's what they're going to replace the deer with, including the Catalina island fox and Catalina Hutton's vireo, a small songbird endemic to the island, the Conservancy says. The ecological challenges facing Catalina cannot be solved in a long-term sustainable way as long as a non-native dirty mule deer, I added that in there, continue to prevent the recovery and restoration of the island's natural habitat. Okay, so get rid of the deer and bring in the fox and the stupid little songbird, plant all this other bullshit, I don't sounds ridiculous to me. I don't know what you guys think of that. Good evening, Gene Cox. How you doing, buddy? Haven't seen you on in a while. Axel says, I wonder what they will do with the bison on the island. I don't know. There's bison on there too. Boy, I didn't know that. Brian Warner MVE says, if they just wait, a wildfire will likely break out and do it for nothing. Yeah, or clean all their shitty invasive grasslands and this other shit they want off of there, right? Dave says, just trying to take a free food source away is the apparent goal. Right, yeah. I mean, hey, if they got a way to capture them with their big nets and without snapping their legs off, go ahead and take them big bucks and replant them up here. And I've got a spot in Mercer County for you. Serena says, hunters and shooters are two different things in California. Yeah, that's for sure. Most of the shooters got the Glock switch sideways. Gene Cox says, flora equals plant, fauna equals critters. All right, got you, Gene. Thanks. Thank you. Brian Warner, the fucking Catalina weed mixer. Yeah. Remember a long time ago I had on, what the heck was his name from North Dakota? Young guy from California. I just talked to him the other day when I re-upped my NDGOP membership. But yeah, Dougie asked him about the Catalina mixer. Apparently they take a boat from LA out to the island there, and they sit there and suck booze down and get drunk. Sounds like a good time to me, for sure. Oh, all right, guys and gals. You got anything else you want to hit on that? I'd be more than happy to read the comments and go over it. Until then, we're going to move on to the next one here. Oh, no, if you heard that silence, nothing went wrong there. It was just me having a tasty, tasty Coors Light from that clean Rocky Mountain water. Well, there's a lot of mule deer there too. All right, so talking right, so let's talk about last month. I mean, Clay's done it. Clay and I have done it. We've talked about the gun sales every month, the Neeks background checks, but now they added in here a since the $200 tax stamp came off on cans, which I I was one of the people that supported this number we're going to read about here, and a buddy of mine texted me just a little bit ago here, up from Golden Valley. He helped out too. So, anyways, what is shaping up to be the year of the suppressor kicked off with a bang? I think this is from guns.com. Americans picked up over 1 million guns last month, in addition to submitting forms for almost 250,000 NFA items. And I'll get you the exact numbers here. According to the data from the FBI's National Instant Check Background System, 2,172,185 federal backgrounds were processed in January 2025. That was a 5.6% decrease from the NEEKS FBI NEEKS figures of 2.299,989 in January of 2025. Well, they got their numbers, years mixed up there, I think. Don't sound the sad music just yet. They meant 2026. They don't sound the sad music just yet, though, as the 1,198,879 checks used for likely gun sales were essentially flat, which had only decreased 0.7% compared to 2025 of 1,207,557. And going past that, January 2026 figure for NEEKS checks done for NFA items, suppressors, short barrel rifles, short barrel shotguns, stuff like that, stood at 206,870, and that was a 121.2% jump from 2025. And that's a huge freaking jump right there, my friends. And of course, right, the $200 tax stamps off. That's precisely why I did it. And if you're wondering how long it took me exactly a week. My buddy said he got 2 of them. I don't know if he put his in a trust or not. But it was 10 days for his 2. I got mine at Mandan Sporting Goods. I'm not sure where Tan got his. I'll have to ask him that. But I mean, they say it too. You're surely attributed to zeroing out the $200 tax on such devices. Thank you, President Trump, and the big beautiful bill. That would never have been possible with Cacklebox Harris as president, and certainly not with the Democrats holding the House and the Senate. Remember that come November in the midterms, my friends. See here, we got a little quote here from the National Shooting Sports Foundation. January's background check figures reinforce what many saw as the beginning of the month and was evident at SHOT Show in 2026 in Vegas. This is the year of the suppressor. Yeah, there was so many different kinds of cans there, and I talked about some last week, right? Them Sonicor, like a really affordable version from Lyman Reloading. Just a quick recap on those. They're all aluminum, kind of got like the knurled surface, and they're like the chambers, you screw them together. And yeah, I mean, their most expensive one is like $280. I think that's for their longest 30 cal one with the steel, got the steel inserts on the hole so they don't wear out, stainless steel inserts. When Congress removes regulatory burdens and taxes, law-abiding gun owners respond by choosing to exercise their rights to both keep and bear arms. This only reinforces the need for Congress to pass the Hearing Protection Act to remove unnecessary barriers to suppressor ownership. Yeah, and I think I talked about this Virginia last week. Remember, I said they got, I think, 14 freaking gun control bills that are coming through, and one of them, that's right, they're going to try and put a $500 tax on suppressors there in Virginia, right? Give the taxpayer and a person a little break to exercise their rights to own firearms and use them. What do the Democrats do when they get full power in Virginia? Run their freaking taxes up your ass and start restricting your rights. So thanks a lot, man. Yeah, real great. So let me see if I mix. All right, didn't miss any comments here. Hey man, keeping for episode number 3, and I'm only going out, just in case I'm only going out to 2 platforms here. My YouTube channel, which like until I hit a big short video on there and suck in a bunch of subs, not very many on there. My Facebook page, it used to be my personal page, but Facebook wouldn't let me change to a business name, so I had to change it on there. That's why it's 701 Nation JD on, because I can't. I mean, I don't know how I'm ever gonna. So maybe someday I will. If not, I don't know. So I mean, we got a pretty good crowd going here just for and if you're curious how many people watched the last, I think YouTube channel last week had 100 views, and then Facebook one had man, like 300 and some views on. So yeah, I mean for what we're doing, we're getting good traffic here, and I really appreciate you guys. I hope you're having a good time. I hope you're getting some good information. Enjoy the show. If you're just coming up, it's going to be on every Tuesday from now on at 8 p.m. Central. And hey, Eric Glazer, how you doing, brother, man? Thanks for jumping on. Good to see you. Yeah, I will get that. The code, it's right here. I just didn't go in and do the routing and all that bullshit. I didn't have time, as I said at the beginning of the show. Anyways, let's go on here. Now we're gonna. I mean, if you don't want like politics, we're gonna get a little political on this one. This is the gun permit apps, and demand for training classes skyrocket amid Minnesota's ice surge, right? And there, I will tell you, there's some. This was out of CBS in Minnesota where I got this story. Um, there's definitely a few things here that are anti-ice. The way they wrote it here. In case you haven't noticed, I'm not anti-ice. I love ice agents. I love Christy Nome. Not like she's my wife or my girlfriend, but as a person and what she does for America. So right on, Brian, says Axel Hondo. Yeah. Uh, so let's get into this story here. CBS, like I said, gun permit applications demand for classes skyrocketed. So, like I said, I got some people might get rubbed wrong with some of the things I'm going to say here, but that's just part of me being a huge live streamer. January is typically a slow month at Frontiersman Sports, but employees at the St. Louis Park, Minnesota gun shop said sales spiked 30% and above normal for the month. And I don't have a damn clue where St. Louis Park is. It comes amid Operation Metro Surge and the killings of Alex Preddy and Renee Good by federal officers. You know, if you miss that, Preddy's carrying his legally carrying his handgun there and a couple mags, and decided he was going to interject himself into a federal law enforcement operation and get physical with the officers, and didn't end well for him. Renee Good tried to run her Honda Pilot over another law enforcement officer in the middle of an operation. Luckily, he got out of the way. He got clipped, and it didn't end well for her either. Beyond sales, employees said permit to carry classes are the largest, not just this year, last year, ever, largest ever. Classes are normally about 20 people, but now are up 30 to 40, the employee said. It comes as Minnesota's Bureau of Criminal Apprehension reports the number of permit to carry applications increased nearly 75% across the state, from 4,734 in January 25 to 8,242 in January 2026. All right, I'm gonna stop right here. I'm gonna stop right here. Leon Francis, play stupid games. ... Right. So big Minnesotans right here. Outside of these big cities, but I mean, I think a lot of this gun buying in these classes are done by these anti-ICE protesters. You know, the same people who vote in Timmy Walls and Attorney General there, Keith Ellison, and their Senate, and they send these people to D.C. Not all of them, most of them, and massive anti-gunners don't want you carrying guns. Walls was going to try and sue the Trump administration because the court overturned something with, I can't remember the ruling about concealed carry, and they just gave it up. But so you got all these dipshits who hate ICE, voted people in who want to take away guns, restrict gun ownership, make you jump through a bunch of rings like a goddamn seal at a circus, and now they're out buying them and acting like, hey man, we're big gun guys now. You people are fucking massive hypocrites. And by the way, when this fall comes around and voting time, they're going to vote for the same son of a bitches who are against concealed carry and the same son of a bitches who want to ban and restrict gun ownership magazine. So these people, honestly, if I owned a gun shop, I'd put a sign up front and said, if you're a fucking Democrat, go somewhere else. And right, remember what they told us? If you don't like getting kicked off of social media websites because Joe Biden freaking colluded with social media platforms, and he did, an anti freaking First Amendment piece of shit to kick people off. Go start your own platforms up then. Okay, go start your own fucking liberal ass leftist stupid fucking gun shop. You can hear some F bombs now because this pisses me off. Get out of the frickin'. We've been fighting for these gun rights our whole life. Most of the people listening on here have. And now these assholes come around after trying to vote people in and take away these rights and our guns. They go buy guns and shit. No, kiss my ass, man. Over freaking feeble, non-true fucking reasons, which we're going to get into a little more. I'll get a few comments here. Leon Francis, they'll probably shoot themselves. Darwin's law. Yeah, I'd like to say what I really think, Leon, but they might shut me down. The level of finding out is directly related to the level of F around, says Gene Cox. Absolutely. All right, so I'm going to go on here. It's not a very long article, but when I interject my aggressiveness and passion here, it'll be a little longer than what time we got here. 8:37. Yeah, we're good to go here. All right. Rob Dorr with the Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus said civil unrest and adverse language toward gun rights from political leaders are the two biggest reasons that gun sales and carry permit applications increase. We've seen both in the last few weeks. All right, so obviously what he's talking about is these annoying ass protesters getting in the way of law enforcement operations, arresting illegal aliens, people who came here illegally, and committed crimes, people who came here illegally and committed violent crimes, those kind of people. They're buying them because they hate fucking ICE and they think they're going to have a shootout with them. But like Gene and Leon said, they might end up blowing off a big toe. And he's talking about like when President Trump came out and said, you can't have guns or you can't have guns, which Trump's not a gun guy. What Trump was talking about is you can't bring a gun there and then get in a freaking tussle with law enforcement. Like Judge Jeanine Pirro, I'm not going to give her a break though, man. She, and I like Judge Jeanine and what she says, but man, when she tried to walk it back, no dice. Kash Patel, yeah, I mean, Kash kind of was, he was kind of in my opinion, kind of on the same level that Trump was. And, I got stupid fucking leftists on social media. TikTok motherfucker, they're coming for your guns, bitch. Show me one fucking law where Trump or Kash Patel or anybody or any Republican in the House and Senate has said we got a law here like all these Democrats did in New Mexico to ban or freaking take your guns, restrict your magazines, and this other. Give back to me, because they don't have a fucking law like that, and it ain't happening. Trump doesn't have an XO like that either. All of Trump's XOs reinstated freaking Second Amendment rights. So get out of my face with that bullshit. Do I like that they said that? No, they should check themselves when they come out there. And I said I love Kristi Noem. Kristi Noem came out too right away and said she thought Preddy was going to show up there and wanted to do a mass shooting. I mean, I don't think he was doing. I don't believe at all that was his intent. And she should have walked that back. I don't think she did at all, which, I mean, Kristi Noem's been nothing but massive pro Second Amendment. So I'm not, she's not coming for your guns either, no matter what some leftist tries to tell you. But all right, let me continue on here with the story. So this Dorr said we've seen both in the last, which I just said, the increase in applications isn't surprising news to David Taylor, CEO of Stock and Barrel Gun Club, located in both Egan and Chanhassen. Again, I don't have the slightest freaking. I've heard of Egan, no idea. Chanhassen, never heard of that. When events like this occur, whenever there's kind of a black swan event, people scramble to get their permits, said Taylor. To meet demand, Taylor said his business now provides 3 or 4 times more classes, primarily for permit to carry. Again, people who want to freaking ban and take guns away and say you don't need them and Second Amendment's outdated, he's freaking giving these guys freaking permit classes. Kiss my ass. I would flat out just say, if you're a fucking Democrat, get the hell out of here. No. You got this phony idea that you're going to use it against ICE, man. To meet demand, Taylor said, okay, I read that one. They do have a heightened alertness. They are a little more on edge. They're a little on edge. They were on edge, but because they're wired up, unhinged leftists, said Taylor in regard to customers. Remember back in 2020, the states and counties stopped people from getting their permits. So some people are being a little more proactive and want to make sure they get their permits or get them updated in case there's any blowback like in 2020. Now, let me remind you something else about 2020. All these freaking governors, and including some Republican governors, wanted everything shut down, including gun shops. You know who said, I don't remember if it was executive order, it might have been, that says leave gun shops open. Remind me the guy who said that, the fascist, the Nazi, the guy who hates your, oh, that's right. President Trump said to open the fucking gun shops up. You fucking unhinged. All right, I'm going to watch the F-bombs. Some people probably don't like that. I like to say it, but I mean, if I'm saying too many of them for you, I apologize. Don't click out. So, employees at Frontiersman said people are scared about unrest, but also, this is ridiculous, but also about ICE coming into their homes. ICE isn't coming into your freaking home unless you're an illegal alien or you're harboring an illegal alien, okay? So that's freaking ridiculous right there. That is complete bullshit. But if they were worried, I'm gonna get my concealed weapons permit. You don't need a concealed weapons permit if ICE is coming into your home anyway, right? Give me a freaking break. God, that's what I mean. These people are, they're, I used to give them a lot of credit and say a lot of these people are smart and they just lack common sense. But I think a lot of them are actually stupid. So Taylor wants new gun owners to know proper training and education come first. I'd be more like Gene and Leon said back there about the Darwin Awards and shit. Just like owning a guitar doesn't make you a musician, owning a firearm doesn't make you proficient. Practice, 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 get training, learn how to use your firearm. Yeah, well, most of them think they're going to use their firearm for the freaking revolution, man, against the Nazis and the fascists, there is no such thing right now. But, that's what leftists think guns are tools of revolution, right? And maybe they are, not so much like they used to be, I don't think. But yeah, I mean, I know what the Second Amendment's about, but anyways, let me get to some of these. Let me get to some of these comments. Let's see here. Dave Hunter, I believe in Minnesota you need a permit to purchase a pistol. Yeah, I think you actually do, Dave. Minnesota, like I said, they got so many stupid hoops to jump through, and trust me, when they're in session again, they'll be trying to pass more. 18 wheels and a dozen 6-shooters says, yeah, my virgin ears, fucking A. Appreciate that, brother. Brian Warner says, seems as if the cities mentioned are out in the outskirt areas. Could it be the people that got as far away from the city but still work there? Or maybe some of the silent. Yeah, Brian, I know I'm lumping them in there probably because I get so annoyed with the leftists here and what they're doing. You're probably right, man. You're definitely a more level-headed MVE than I am. I appreciate that. Leon Francis says, my wife asked about this today. I told her it would be a short revolution. Well, I mean, I'll touch on that after I get this other comment. Serena Marie Funk says, yeah, yes, know how to use it, but I was raised with the triple. Yeah, I mean, I started raised with a freaking BB gun, just like most people on here were, and it went from there to the 22 and the 20 gauge. And Brian says, at least we can hope they are just trying to protect themselves from the city, man. Yeah, Brian, you're right. I mean, I kind of thought of that too, Brian, but I was going on a rant there about the leftists and being big gun lovers now. But so Leon says it'd be a short revolution. In my opinion, Leon, right now it would be. But if this drags on and the revolution still, I mean, it's boiling and getting in the surface of the boiling, and the longer, I mean, if it's going to happen, I would rather it just happen now, because the longer we wait, the more leftists are going to arm up and get trained, and it's going to be a hell of a lot harder then at that point to have the freaking Patriots take America back and get us running down the tracks the right way again. That's my opinion on that. The Germans invaded Russia, got 30 miles from oh shit, what's the capital city there again? There were the Kremlin's at. Whatever, the capital of Russia there, and stopped, and they were out there shaving and drinking and having a good time. They sat there for I don't know how many weeks picking their ass. Well, at that time, Stalin had everybody getting ready, and guess what? The Germans freaking went back till the end of the goddamn war because they sat around and foodle fucked around and let the Russians get their shit together. I don't want to do that to the leftists if shit's going to hit the fan. See here. Leon, commies don't have the stuff to stick it out and no turning. I don't know about, I don't know about that, man. If leftists are evil mofos, man. They're evil bastards. Serena says, shoot, show, and shut up. The 3 S's. There you go. Yep. Dan Hager TV. What happens if the people paying these protesters get guns and ammo from those guys? For those guys? Yeah. I mean, they want to. I guarantee you the people that are paying these protesters, they're not paid. They got made up signs already, man. It looked like it came off the printing press and shit. They got the app. I mean, the lieutenant governor over there was involved in this shit. Moscow, there you go, A2. Yeah, the Germans got 30 miles out of Moscow and took up camp along one of the rivers and sat there and shaved, like I said, and took showers and hung around and got drunk. And, well, like I said, it went all backwards from there. In the meantime, Stalin had them digging trenches around the city. And, I mean, I'm not picking side. I don't like either one of them son bitches. Like I was like Patton thought, once you got the Germans handled, he said, got everything here. We might as well script these guys into our military and go take the Ruskies over. But never happened. Democrat was president. Anyway, let's do happy. Who's ready for the happy ending chronicle? I am. I'm gonna get this one out of the armed citizen here in the NRA book. Like I said, the short one, short but sweet. Taking us back here to October 16th of 2025, Baltimore, Maryland. A piece of shit broke into a jewelry store. He threw a brick through the glass window. Right, hey, great. 2 a.m. Good idea in a jewelry store. Throw a brick through the glass window, right? Like however, the owner of the store also lived above it and was awake watching television. He reportedly told the robber to freeze. And like I told you, I kind of looked in the story. This guy was jumping around, peeking his head up and shit, running around a jewelry store. And I think the guy missed him a few times. But yeah, he hit home on one of them. One of them Freedom Seas hit home on him. He then shot him when he didn't comply and say freeze, right? Like he said he was running. And he made it out the door. And the scumbag's feet were on the steps of the jewelry store and his head was laying in the street. That's how far he made it after this guy got him. Baltimore homicide investigator. They actually got a castle doctrine in Baltimore, which blows my freaking mind, but they do. Big liberal city. But yeah, homicide investigated the case. Nope. Legal, what do they call it? Good kill, good shoot, or whatever they call it. So yeah, good and happy ending hootenanny. No jewelry was stolen from the jewelry store, and the owner of the store, a good citizen, is having a good business there in the city of Baltimore. Nothing happened to him. Hey, great story. Love that. Love that. All right, let me get to some comments, and then we're going to get into a few more. Like I said, we're going to do some a couple current event stories here. The voter ID thing. I'm going to tie that in with some gun stuff. And an ABC news story about, like I told you, or CBS, not ABC, my bad. Only 14% of these illegals that have been arrested actually have violent criminal records. Words matter, my friends. Remember that. So, which we'll be talking about shortly. So yeah, 18 wheels. He says I could use a happy ending. Yeah, man, I hear you, brother. Not from you though, JD. No, not. Oh, South Dakota law. What do you got, Leon? SD law. Oh yeah, that's right. God damn, why did I write that down? South Dakota Governor Larry Roden today signed in the deregulation of the suppressors. That's right. Senate Bill 7 or something. I had it written down, but in my zeal, I tossed it off the table here on the floor, and I'm hooked up to so I'm not going to bend over and grab it. Yeah, so South Dakota deregulated. I think Clay explained that a little better than I could. I didn't, but I think as long as you buy it in South Dakota and keep it there and use it there, it's not going on the NFA list or something to that effect. Maybe one of you guys knows the short clip notes that you can put in here. Serena says, good fuck around, and he found out. That's right. No, if you like living, don't break into people's houses. Don't freaking beat the shit out of people and try and kick them in the head when they're down. Don't try and freaking rape women who are armed. Don't try and steal money. Don't try and steal people's cars and carjack. Don't do none of that shit, and you're gonna be just fine. Right? You're not gonna end up like this old boy in Baltimore did with his feet on the steps and his face laying up face down in the concrete in the road. All right. So voter ID. I heard, because they're trying to pass the what's it called, whatever the law is called, Freedom of Voter Act or whatever the hell it is. So, anyways, Garrett Roden's bill down in South Dakota was Senate Bill 2 is what it was called. So it's him and Senator Casey Crabtree, law of the land in Sodak now. So yeah, Schumer comes out saying, hey, this is infringement of your rights, your constitutional rights. You're showing an ID, it's disenfranchising, and he has some. I think he said in a million, some kind of. You can't, to make them do this is against their constitution. Schumer's the same guy. Pardon me, I'm sorry about that burp. The Second Amendment's the right too. Right, Second Amendment's number two. Number two. Leon's got a thing here. I will read that after I'm done. Schumer, he he signs shit that you have to show your ID to buy a gun to exercise your Second Amendment rights. Wants you to show an ID and take fucking classes, waiting periods to own and carry guns. I mean, any law you can think of. If you, I think he actually had one where if you got a DUI, he doesn't want you having a gun. But to vote to show an ID is absolutely ridiculous and a massive infringement on your rights. But he loves every infringement on your Second Amendment rights. Right? Complete bullshit. The hypocrisy and I guarantee you, damn near every Democrat in the House and Senate, and the national level, and most state levels agrees 100% with Schumer. The only reason they're doing this, my friends, and most of you know this, because they know it's going to freaking hurt their ass of getting freaking elected again. They're fucking cheating on shit. They always accuse Trump of it, but like Rush said, what they accuse you of, they're already doing, and damn sure they're doing it. All right, so I gotta get to a couple comments back here. I'm gonna Brian Warner, and then I'm gonna get to Leon's here. Brian Warner says, "Oh, and don't wrestle with ice." Yeah, that's what Pretty did. So my brother man Leon Francis here every Friday, Blackbeard Logic, 6 p.m. Central Time, says clip notes on South Dakota's deregulation of suppressors. Today, 2026, Governor Larry Roden signed Senate Bill 2 into law at Silencer Central in Sioux Falls. Yeah, like a lot of people are like, Silencer Central's against deregulating suppressors. I listened to the guy on a podcast. He wasn't, man. He loved it. So they went there and signed the law. The bill removes suppressors from the state's definition of controlled weapon. Previously, unregistered possession of controlled weapon was a Class 6 felony up to 2 years in prison. Now, no state-level felony or registration requirement applies to suppressors in South Dakota. South Dakota is the first state to take this step, removing suppressors from its controlled weapons list. The change is largely proactive, preparatory. It eliminates state laws that tied suppressor possession to federal NFA requirements like $200 tax stamp, background check, and registration. Yeah, so that's another thing. Schumer wants you to take a background check to own your guns, but to take a background check to vote, that guy'd freaking come unglued. Federal law still applies. Suppressors remain regulated under the NFA. You need ATF approval and a background check, and currently the tax stamp to own transfer one legally nationwide. No immediate change for buyers in South Dakota. Still follow federal process, but it future-proofs the state if Congress or ATF ever fully deregulate suppressors federally. Okay. Oh, man, I mean, that's, for some reason, that's confusing to me. I know what you're saying, but for me to explain it any easier than you're doing it here would be passed unanimously in both the South Dakota House and Senate. Strong bipartisan pro-gun support promoted as treating suppressors as hearing pro-devices, not weapons. Right, which they are, right? And then if NFA is guns and then suppressors aren't guns, why are they on there anyways? In short, state-level restrictions on silencers are gone in South Dakota as of February 10th, but federal NFA rules still control ownership. All right, so that's kind of what kind of what I said in the nice plug, brother. Anytime, brother, man. Anytime, Blackbeard. Anytime. All right, state level change. Yeah, and I know so I got some text today. Hey, what? Tell your buddy Kelly Armstrong. I'm acquaintances with Kelly. Kelly and I don't. Hey, man, you want to go out and have some beers? And you know, I'm more than happy to go out drinking or shooting guns with him at some point, anytime he wants, or hunting, whatever. But Kelly doesn't do what I tell, especially he wouldn't anyways, but certainly not the governor. Oh shit, 701 Nation guy told me, but he knows about it, and we're not in session for another year anyways to do something about it. I mean, if anybody wants that happening here, if they're not, a court case or something doesn't get rid of it by then, well, get ready to talk to your district reps and senators and who's going to get on board and sponsor that. Because I'll promise you, if something like that gets in front of Kelly, Kelly will put his signature on it. I mean, I would have little to no doubt he would not. He'll sign it. He'll sign it. So, commie bastards on the federal level will still be a bag of Richards, right? Right? Absolutely, they will. 100%. Man, it's way harder to get shit passed on the federal level. Which, I mean, if you're disenfranchised about voting for Republicans and Trump, I'm not going to vote for none of them guys, JD. Well, then you want shit to be way, way worse than it is, and way more regulations coming back, and a bunch of bullshit coming back. Anybody who like, it ain't worth voting anymore. I don't know. You can wrap your mind around that from what we are now to where we can go back to. Really, I think your political compass is fucked if you think that way, because you were never going to have it perfect. I'm hate to give you a blast of reality, but we can get real good, which we are, man. We set another high in the stock market today. Borders are completely sealed. I mean, I'm not going to go through the whole litany of shit here on everybody. Let's go to this news story, right? What I was telling you about. CBS, only 14% of the illegals, they didn't even say illegals, of the ICE arrests have been violent criminals. And they said violent, right? They didn't say just, they're all criminals, right? Because they came here illegally. We talked about that in the beginning. So, and I just picked this one out of what Carolyn Levitt said. Just because crime is not violent in nature does not mean that crime is victimless, right? Right. And so here, the 70%, right? The 70% when they said they had criminal records at the illegals that they picked up here. I mean, it bugs me when they say that, because they already have a law breaking record when they come here illegally. But crimes. So these are the people that the liberals and CBS News don't think are criminal records, right? Crimes such as drug trafficking, distribution of child pornography, burglary, fraud, DUI, embezzlement, solicitation of a minor, human smuggling are all categorized as nonviolent crimes, and they all had a victim. That's the kind of the 70% that they didn't have. The 14% had violent, murder, beatings, assault, and all. These are the other ones that ABC or CBS doesn't think is a violent crime. Yeah, like physically, but let me go through this list. This is a short list of, right? This ain't all of them. Distribution of child pornography, burglary, which you know what happened to that guy in Maryland when he tried that shit. Fraud, DUI, and DUI. You got a DUI, GD? Yeah, I did back in 2003. I'm a fucking citizen. When you come here and illegally, then you get a DUI, or you come here on one of these work visas and that happens, your ass is gone, man. Embezzlement, yeah. I mean, what's wrong with that? Just leave an embezzler who's here. Solicitation of a minor. What's that? You know what a solicitation of a minor is. Human smuggling. Yeah. I mean, that, man, that's not, why are you getting rid of that guy? That's not a violent crime. He's just smuggling humans. Yeah. I mean, and that, like I said, that's not the whole list of crimes by these scumbags that Democrats I mean, they'll do anything to turn their head away as long as they're getting freaking votes and still getting like. So my brother man Leon says it can get much worse. It'll get way worse if the Dems get and then we've had elections already where the Republicans just ain't showing up, man. Trump's in there, and I know people who I don't know. You ain't getting nothing done. She ain't getting nothing done. Get your head completely out of your ass. That guy has accomplished so much in just a hair over a year. I mean, do I have to be the guy to fucking tell you everything he did? Come on, man. And come on, man and woman. I mean, all right, Anyways, that's yep, about an hour in, gang. Tell you, Clay doesn't have a show tomorrow. He's doing Lent, so I think all during Lent, right? Is that what it is? And I could be wrong. I'm just apologize if I'm not up snuff on all my um Bible stuff and religious stuff. But he's doing Thursday show, I think, till Lent's over in March, right? And like I said, Friday, 6 p.m. Oh, Clay will be on at 8 p.m. Central, 7 Mountain. And Leon, Blackbeard Logic, Friday. Sunday, Vance, I don't know what time. I think is it 8 a.m. Central? Sportsman's, man, I can never remember the name. I feel it's Vance is a see, I can't even think. He does it something like his outdoors church thing. And Dave, man, Dave, are you starting? You're not starting this Sunday, are you? With the 701 Marksman? Um, that's going to be on Sundays as well. So, um, Dan Hager TV says our Republic Congress, it's our Republican Congress that is shit. I mean, it is. I'm not going to disagree. They should be getting. I mean, he still needs 60 votes in the Senate, which sucks. But um, imagine Hakeem Jeffries as Speaker of the House instead, man. I mean, that is not even close. I know Mike Johnson ain't the best, but Mike Johnson's like the freaking greatest guy in the world compared to Hakeem Jeffries. Serena says we are so fucked if Dems get in next election. Oh yeah, and then if you don't win the presidency, I mean retribution. I mean, you think you were shut out from social media and getting your message across? They'll probably freaking arrest Elon. Just because not that he did anything wrong, but just because we don't like you freaking putting out a message contrary to ours. Dan Hager says we want them to pass Trump's agenda, but they keep kicking the can. Yeah, it pisses me off. I mean, and then I'll tell you too, a lot of you guys get, if Thomas Massey walks by, the only thing you see is your shoes hanging out of his ass. That means your head's up his ass so far. That son of a bitch votes against Trump a shitload of times. So when I piss him on about Thomas Massey, it's because I'm not a fan, because he thinks he's all high and mighty and self-righteous, and he votes against Trump shit, and he's holding back the agenda. Sportsman's Devotion Sunday with Vance Bishop. Thank you, Brian Warner. I appreciate that. It's not that I don't. Vance has a great show, man. Vance has a great show there, and a lot of times does it from outside too, and just off the cuff, man. Vance is he knows his shit. So check that out. I was telling my wife and kids to watch TV on church here. Why don't you turn it over to watch a little bit of Vance? Probably a lot better show than what you got going here. A lot better service, but they never do yet. So one of these days I'll get them to. And again, I'll be back next Tuesday. Yeah, 8 p.m. Central. I might do another JD versus AI, but I mean, there's so much stuff going on with guns and 2A laws and shit by now. And I mean, there might be some movement on this thing in New Mexico we talked about. Something else will pop up. I mean, there's just a multitude of stuff, and I just appreciate you guys tuning in. I'll try and get that scan code up there, and hopefully I can get this put up on the podcast here. We'll see if that works out. If not, screw it, man. I'll be back next week. So, yeah, again, appreciate all you guys. Next week, again, see you next week. If you got anything else, I'm gonna give you about 30 seconds to pop something up here in the chats if you want. Otherwise, what we're gonna go out with. We're gonna go out with a little AI 2A and Second Amendment fire here. I'm gonna enjoy this rest of my Coors Light. Appreciate everybody tuning in here. We'll see you guys next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Central. Another episode 004. Great show, JD, says Josh. Thanks, Josh. Appreciate that, man. I really do. Make sure if you guys haven't yet, hit that like button, whatever platform you're watching. I'd appreciate that. So, all right, guys. Thank you, Waylon Turnus. Appreciate you tuning in, buddy. As always, I always appreciate that. So, all right, guys and gals. We'll see you, Serena. I might be up this weekend. If I am, I'll swing in and then and BS with you and Alan a little bit here. So, all right, guys, we'll see ya. Have a great rest of your week. JD 701 Nation, I'm out.
Ooh, oh. Born with the right, etched in stone. Second Amendment, we stand alone. Guns in our hands, freedom's call. Hunt the wild, never take the fall. Fire, lock and load, let 'em roar. Shoot 'em straight, Second Amendment score. Buckshot flying, deers in sight. Rock the range on the night. Rifle raised high, one clean shot, watch the trophy fly. Targets down range, bullseye hit. Guns down.